Okay, the New Year's Six Bowls and even just bowl season in general just about wrapped up. Um, and we've had some craziness, but I don't know if you knew this, but I've also been a part of that craziness. Not this year, obviously, but about 5 years ago on January 1st. So
Oh, really?
5 years ago on January 1st. Any idea what I can be talking about today?
I have a feeling it's going to be about Michigan State.
It is.
It's because of bowl game and 5 years ago and something like that.
That's a good guess, and you are correct. I've mentioned, Texas a few times, touring ballparks, but on January 1st, 2015, I was able to go to the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm
Oh,
talking about.
yeah. You went to the Cotton Bowl, bro.
Yes, I did, and I'm gonna show this real quick. Got a little ball here. Pretty cool. You got Baylor, Michigan State at the Cotton Bowl.
That is actually raw.
It is pretty cool, dude. I didn't even want to take it out of the box. That's how cool.
You
I
never took it out the box?
no, dude. I'm not gonna use this thing.
Jeez.
No, this is too nice to use. Imagine, I got some dogs downstairs. I don't want them biting a hole in this. But yeah,
Oh,
that is pretty cool. I went to the Goodyear Combo Classic 2015, Baylor,
wow.
Michigan State, and if you remember anything from this game, it was insane. It truly was insane.
Yeah, I remember the game, but what's the explosive experience like? That's what I want to know.
It
That's what we want to know.
it was pretty interesting because I don't think I had ever been to AT&T Stadium before the Cotton Bowl. I had been near it because I had been to Rangers games prior and stuff around the Arlington area, but I don't think I've ever entered AT&T Stadium before. So it was really cool. Obviously it's in Arlington, not Dallas. A lot of people think the Rangers and the Cowboys actually play in Dallas. It's in Arlington, and it's out of the city. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's very interesting. It is a very nice place. Outside, a lot of festivities. It was awesome. Honestly, it was similar to my college hockey story. The between Michigan State and Michigan at Comerica Park. So there's a lot of festivities outside. I even got a little bead from like a vendor. I mean, I think they were giving out free beads, and as you can tell, see, it has a little Cotton Bowl logo, has a little green beads, and it's funny because they were giving out two colors of beads, green and then gold for Baylor. So had to get the green. But before the actual game, let me put this on real quick. Gotta
Oh my goodness.
hey, catch the drip. Um, before that, we actually, I think there's a nice hotel in uh, I think it might have been in Arlington. It wasn't really near the stadium. Can't remember where exactly the hotel was, but I think it was maybe probably like December 30th or around there. We went to like the nice hotel, and at this specific hotel, they had a bunch of banners from Michigan State because it's where Michigan State was staying. I, I I think it was before they actually arrived, but the entire hotel, it was super cool. A lot of Michigan State like posters and stuff like that. It was very unique, and we went there. Very cool place. Real quick, has nothing to do, but I remember I took a. This is just completely random, but I remember I took a flight somewhere. I think it was coming home from Texas to Chicago, and our flight had a little like a, I forgot what you call it, but it's where you stop in a different city and then get on another flight. But it was in Wichita, and this was around the time of March Madness, and we were able to see a bunch of Wichita Shockers balloons everywhere around the airport because I guess they were coming home from the tournament. And if you remember, and like 2015, 2014, around that time period, Wichita, they were good. Wichita State was
Yeah,
good.
I remember that. I remember they went. I think they went undefeated in the regular season or
Yeah,
something.
I think they also made like maybe the Elite Eight, maybe Final Four. I can't remember. Nonetheless, that's nothing to do. It's just pretty cool how different places like hotels, airports, put out different like balloons and posters for their teams. But we went to the hotel. There's like posters and that was pretty cool. I think even maybe a few days before the game, we actually went back to the hotel and like players were, getting onto the bus. We didn't like really meet anyone, but we saw all the players. A lot of like Connor Cook, players like that. Really cool experience there. And I think again, days before the game, there's like this little park, and I met Sparty. Of course, that's my guy, mascot Sparty. It's
Yeah,
funny because my dad, who went to the game with me, and my grandpa, who also went to Michigan State, so definitely had to get the Michigan State alumni to the game, of course. But my dad's dog is actually named Sparty, so
of course.
it's funny, but nonetheless, yeah. There's like this little park where they had Michigan State's marching band and stuff like that playing, different songs and stuff. Met Sparty, cool experience there. But now I'm gonna get to the actual game. The game, it was pretty cool. I mean, like I said, outside there was a lot of memorabilia and stuff that you could do. Like again, it was like as I mentioned again in my hockey story, the Winter Classic, basically.
Like a fair.
Yeah, it was like a fair, exactly. And at like arcades, again, the football toss, right? There was a bunch of those, and you like different activities. Pretty cool environment. But hey, I also have this little like ticket thing with a lanyard. Pretty cool. It's the ticket. I don't know why the tickets are so big, but it's like a pretty cool cotton bowl with like a little it's Michigan State everywhere, basically.
Is that a replica or is that a
No,
real?
that's actually the ticket. So I
Oh
wore that
my!
during the game. Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, I guess I don't know. This is nice. Again, I haven't even taken it out of the package. It has a date on it. Has the lanyard. It's pretty cool. Really cool. Definitely some of the coolest things. And then like to most games you go to, you get a little a game program. And this, I haven't taken anything out of the packaging. It's like, you see this? They gave this game program, and I haven't even opened it because I don't like it's in the package still. But that's what it is.
You still you're reluctant to opening these things, huh? To
Dude,
getting these things out of the box.
dude, hey, I'm not trying to mess it up. But yeah, the game program. This is pretty cool, and I don't know if you can tell here, but this thing is thick. This thing is
Oh my
heavy.
goodness!
This thing is super heavy. I
I
don't
see
know.
the page.
I don't know what's in here, but this is the game program that they got that they gave out before the games. For most games, honestly, like I have a bunch of Pistons programs, Lions programs. I don't know. I mean, I think it has like the rosters and like scorecards, especially for MLB games. That you can keep score in your program. Really interesting how different how at every stadium they give out free programs. Pretty cool. But now to the game. We sat in a very awesome place. You know how when you're watching, football games, how you're centered, you're on the sidelines, right? You're sitting aerial view of the center of the stadium, right? So you're on the sidelines, and obviously to the left of the logo is the left end zone, to the right of the logo is the right end zone. So sitting center, we were on right behind the goalposts in the left end zone of AT&T Stadium, and this is I'm gonna bring this up. Something that is very unique about sitting here later, but this was a really, I don't know, I'm not the biggest fan of sitting in end zones. I think it's for obvious reasons, because if think about it, if you're sitting in, let's say, like I was, the left end zone, it's going to be very tough to see what happens 100 yards down the field, right?
I see what you mean.
So that was definitely, I mean, it was still awesome sitting there. For again, foreshadowing a reason down later in the game, but really there it's tough to see. It's not terrible, but it is tough to see. I don't think I've ever sat center on the sideline. I don't think I've ever sat in that area. It's always been behind the end zone, and I think probably
never. Like, it's never been like you sat at the 50-yard line.
No, I don't. I don't think I've ever sat there for any. Actually, maybe for like a Michigan State game, but it was like in the upper decks, which is fine. So it was like watching it on TV. It was pretty cool. Nonetheless, yeah, I really have never sat center. It's always been in the end zone. And this was very interesting. So I remember Michigan State got out to an early jump. I remember they had, I think they got the ball first, and I don't know if you remember this, but there's an iconic picture that came, not even a picture, a meme that came from this game, and the pregame, the pregame coin flip. If you remember, Baylor had two very unique players that kind of became memes. They had that. I don't know how tall or how big this dude was, but he was like probably around like 7 foot tall and like probably 400 pounds. And they used him as like a tight end, basically. Do you remember him?
No.
Yeah, so I would search Baylor big wide receiver or big guy or something.
Oh, that's a big boy.
Yeah, and they used him for like, runs on the goal line because no one could take him down.
Laquan McGowan.
Yeah, that was him. But that's not the meme I'm referring to. If you look up Baylor Michigan State coin flip, there should be a meme where there's this dude almost like Ezekiel Elliott-esque with his jersey up to like his chest, and dude is like ripped. Like this dude is like DK Metcalf times 10.
Oh yeah, I've seen. Okay, I see that now. Whoa, jeez.
You remember that meme? Have you seen that before?
No, I've never seen it before. I wasn't even paying attention to college football at the time,
dude. Yeah,
so I didn't even know. Whoa, holy smoke! Well, I won't say I wasn't paying attention at all, but I wasn't as deep into it. I didn't even know the Cotton Bowl existed.
Yeah, and that meme came from that, and hey, it was pretty crazy. I mean, like I said, Baylor had two very unique players, so that was pretty cool to see. But I remember the game started off pretty good for Michigan State. They had a really big run from Jeremy Langford, and if you remember, Jeremy Langford actually played for the Bears in the NFL for a little bit.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah, he had a massive day. I mean, he had 162 yards. He got off to a big 65-yard run to start the game. I remember that. And that was cool because Michigan State actually received the kick to the right end zone. So they were coming towards us in the first half. They were, so we were able to see that long 65-yard run. Like literally he broke out. It was similar to yesterday's Texas A&M 76-yard run. So he was like free, and then I think he got tackled around maybe the 10-yard line. So we were able to see a quick touchdown right away, right off the bat in our end zone. So that was pretty cool sitting there. Other than that, in the first half, Baylor, I don't know if you remember, but they were good. They had Bryce Petty, who was good in college, had some, questionable, games in the NFL. Not great, but they were good. Baylor was really good.
I remember Baylor being in the the conversation for the college football playoff sometime.
Yeah, they were good. They were actually 5 at the time. They were 11-2. Michigan State 11-2, number 8. But it was a pretty good first quarter. Both teams scored 2 touchdowns, so it was again competitive. And then until the fourth quarter, it was bad. I mean, my grandpa, my dad, and I, we were watching, and we were like, "This is ugly," because Michigan State would throw an interception. I mean, Connor Cook had 2 interceptions, and then Baylor would come down and score. And in the second quarter, Baylor scored 10 points. In the third quarter, they scored 17 points. Michigan State only scored 7 points in the third, 0 in the second. So it was looking like a blowout. I mean, complete blowout. It was bad. I remember we were watching the game, and I think we were getting some food maybe towards the end of the second or the beginning of the third. And we went back to look at the field while our food was, well, we were getting food. And we were at the concession stand, and we broke away from the line to see what was happening. And I remember just looking back at the stadium and seeing a massive Baylor touchdown. Like, it was the entire stadium erupted, and I do remember all the fans were so obnoxious. Fans of sports teams in Texas are by far the most obnoxious fans in the world. By far, dude. I can't remember if it was after every touchdown or after every kick, but the Baylor fans would be doing this really annoying thing where they would raise both of their hands and do like a bear claw every single time they would score or kick off. They were like this. Dude, I was like, oh my God, stop. And it would be annoying because you're like trying to watch the game and dudes are like let me see. I'm trying to see the game. It was annoying, and I was like, of course we come to this game, the Cotton Bowl, and it's a blowout. But
dang,
the fourth quarter is where it got exciting. Michigan State, they were down big. And you probably remember this because this is one of my favorite plays in all of college football history. It's Baylor was setting up for a field goal at our end, right? Baylor was setting up for a field goal. And if they kicked this, they basically had won the game because Michigan State was probably down 6. If they had this, I think there was like 3, 4, 5 minutes left. Maybe 2. I really can't remember. But I remember this part specifically. They were getting ready to ice the game with a field goal, and Michigan State desperately needed to come up with a block. And that's exactly what happened. If you remember, Michigan State blocked it, and then the kicker tried to tackle the player who recovered the blocked punt. And nowadays this would never happen, but one of the outside rushers for Michigan State put an absolute hit stick on the kicker, and he went flying on the blind side block. Like I said, nowadays, literally, if you touch a dude, while he's not looking at you, it's considered a blind side block, and you're gonna get a penalty, right? This was the biggest block that I had ever seen. Literally, the kicker got blocked, and he was horizontal, literally laying flat in the air like this.
Oh gosh!
The dude,
okay,
Michigan State. Imagine that they recovered, heading towards the opposite end zone, and the kicker is trying to tackle the dude who recovered. The dude on Michigan State, the outside rusher, literally came over, put his shoulder into him. The kicker horizontal in midair, and I remember it to this day, where it's basically like slow motion picture in my head. We were sitting on the end zone where the kicker got blocked, so we were able to see the entire play develop. It was crazy. Michigan State was able to return that blocked field goal to maybe like the 15 of Baylor, and they ultimately scored a touchdown, and that basically won them the Cotton Bowl. They came back and they won 42-41 in an instant classic. As the Goodyear Cotton Bowl says, classic game. It was really cool. I remember my dad, my grandpa, and we all lost our voices from screaming because that was an insane game. It was crazy. We saw the confetti drop. Mark D'Antonio, Connor Cook. Oh man, that was a fantastic game. Definitely the greatest football game that I had ever been to.
Wow, back when you had a voice to lose.
Dude, yeah. Now there's hard. It's tough to cheer. And I also have this little jersey that I got. I think it's the same jersey that they have that they actually wore. It's cool because this one has the green sleeves and the white like just normal, and it is also interesting. As you can tell, there's like the brownish gold color inside of the logo. Yeah, pretty cool. Number 8, of course, and then got the Goodyear patch, Goodyear combo patch, and then the Big Ten patch, of course.
Oh man, I need to get a Rose Bowl jersey, man.
That would be nice. Penn State Rose Bowl. That'd be
No, not Penn
not
State.
Penn State. What? What?
No, I mean, look, I love Penn State, but their jerseys are too plain for me.
Really?
Their uniforms are too plain for me. I need something like I would have wanted something like mid 2000s Illinois.
Interesting.
I would have liked something like that. God, I think Big Ten jerseys have really gotten worse.
You're not a
and
fan
worse.
of the all black neons from Michigan State.
I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of Ohio State in black. I'm not a fan of Illinois in gray. That is ugly. I am not a fan of Iowa in silver. I mean these teams are really starting to overutilize silver. I mean you have color schemes for a reason. I mean it's just like dang like I mean in Penn State's defense, I mean they're kind of like the Celtics of college football where you have the simplest jerseys but there's a legacy behind it and that legacy is the only thing that is making that jersey good.
That is interesting that you bring up jerseys because I remember after the game we went home and we actually watched Florida State Oregon when Oregon had the complete neon green jerseys. Marcus Mariota versus Jameis Winston. If you I remember watching the game after coming home from Michigan State Baylor, and watching the infamous Jameis Winston fumble where he did the splits and he lost the ball trying to throw it. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I actually that was Jameis Winston. See when they played in the BCS national championship against Auburn, that was the first national championship game I ever watched, and then that was the first and only BCS experience I ever got. Then I transitioned to college football playoff because that was the only. I mean, I really was only watching the college football playoff at the time. And seeing that play, I remember, seeing that play afterwards. I don't know if I saw it live, but yeah, that was definitely bad. It was infamous. And man, you know what? I don't like Oregon's uniforms at all.
Come on,
dude.
I got to be honest with you. I think they have the best uniforms in all of college football, even college sports. Because I've never seen a team, because I remember that same year they came out with 13 or around like 10 different jerseys where it ranged from like bright pink to bright neon green. I always have loved Oregon's jerseys. Whatever they're wearing, I like them so much.
Oh, no, dude. I'm sorry. We are on opposite ends on this one. I really only like it when Oregon wears the green, the dark green. And it's
dude,
like
I'm gonna be honest with you. Neon green is my favorite color. That's why I like it, dude. I just love neon. Neon is it's fire. When Oregon wears that, I'm like, yes, come on, and especially when they played Florida State back then. That was one of the biggest rivalries, in my opinion. You got the Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota.
But what was the feeling like getting out of that Cotton Bowl like that?
It was one of the best feelings ever, dude. We were all ecstatic. We were able to see that fantastic game. Definitely, that's why the Cotton Bowl is my favorite, because I was able to experience that live and just one of the best games I've ever watched, let alone watched in person. Fantastic. It was almost like I can't even explain it. It was so awesome, especially with my dad and my grandpa who both went to Michigan State. They were able to to root for they were alumni rooting for their alma mater. So it was really awesome to experience that with those two. Very fun game. Loved it. It was a great experience.
And that was right in between when AT&T Stadium was actually your haunted house.
Yeah, hey, that's kind of foreshadowing possibly my next story time. Who knows?
Oh, brother.
Who knows?
Okay, well, that was your Cotton Bowl classic experience, huh?
Sure was. Yeah, it was It was pretty. It was the greatest game I've ever watched. The greatest football game I've witnessed. Greatest just overall experience. Fantastic game.
Wow. I've only been to only so many high school football games. I've only been to what, four?
I've been to one, no, two, three, two. I think two.
And two of those, half of those were as broadcasters.
Yeah. Hey,
Oh,
that's almost more unique than actually going to the Cotton Bowl, in my opinion.
broadcasting the games instead of going to a new. I see your point. I see your point. Well, I have one question though. When you went to the concession stands, did they have nachos?
Of course, yes.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think every single game, no matter what sport, you can go to cricket, they're going to have nachos. Don't worry.
Okay. Okay. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
I might have to trademark that when I get older.
Dude, and I know that because my sister, she isn't the biggest sports fan, like, whatsoever. So how my parents like to bribe my sister to go into the games instead of like having my grandparents watch her. They're like, I'll get you cotton candy, I'll get you nachos if you come to the game, right? So I know from experience that almost every single stadium has nachos.
Okay.
Gotcha.
That's good. I'm glad it wasn't just high school because I figured because I'm thinking it's a mainstream food. It's a mainstream entertainment food. It's up there with hot dogs and pizza, freaking popcorn.
Yeah,
I think nachos has to be in that Mount Rushmore.
I would agree, and this is going out on a tangent, but you can get to a lot of different stadiums, and a lot of different stadiums have unique versions of different foods. Like, this is probably a different story, but like if you go to a White Sox game, you can get like funnel cake and ice cream. Yeah, and you go to Texas, I think there's a hot dog that's like it's like I don't even know how to explain. And a lot of different stadiums have unique foods unique to the place that you're at. So pretty cool.
Oh wow. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to get my nachos on.
Yeah.
I'm a, I'm a, I'm a, I'm a, I'm a, I'm gonna. My goal is to go to every single professional sports stadium in the world, in America at least. We'll see about Canada. To go to every single, stadium of all the professional sports teams. Go on a nacho tour. I would go on a legit nacho tour. Taste every single nacho chip, every single nacho dip sauce, and I'd probably rank them in my head like, okay, next time I come to this venue, I'm getting them game day nachos.
I like it. I like that idea.
Um,
Yeah. I went on like a little pizza tour when I went to New York. Not like any stadium, but going around getting like pizzas and stuff. It's fun. Food is fun.
Food is fun.
Food is fun.
that is a good quote.
Thank
That
you.
is a good quote.
Yeah, that's gonna be put on like the season 3 top of the standings trailer. Put some like dramatic music in the background. Food is fun.
SpongeBob would be in half agreement of you. F
Yeah.
is for food. What people eat.
I was thinking like there's Nemo, fish or not food or whatever he says. I haven't watched Nemo in a while.
Yeah.
Fish are friends or something, not food.
Yeah. Yeah. This was a good story. That was a good story. Football, you know what I'm saying? College football, bowl mania basically, ended last week. And hey, none bad about a football story.
No, yeah, hey, and I've been pretty timely with these stories. I told the Oregon Michigan State game from week 2 of the season. I went to week 2 of the season against Oregon, and now it's January 3rd, and I went to January 1st Cotton Bowl. So, timely.
Yeah. Although I've been bringing up new sports every single, I've been bringing up new sports recently. I think I'm going to do that again next week.
Interesting.
Yeah, we're going to have another newcomer sport. Yeah, dude, I'm all over the place.
I don't know what it could be at all.
I know it. I know you're just thinking, okay, he's done baseball. He's obviously done football. He's done basketball. He's even done hockey, floor hockey. I mean,
I'm gonna
yeah,
say mini
even
golf. Mini golf.
mini golf. Yeah, we'll save. I'll save that for later. But it's it's probably one that you probably didn't see coming. So we'll stay tuned for next week.
I'm excited. I like the unique and new sports stories.
Yeah, I'll be rolling. But yeah, have you got? But yeah, this was story time special number 18, which was also foreshadowing for my new age. If you guys liked it, enjoyed it, you can give us that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 star rating. Oh my goodness, he's bringing out the memorabilia. Give that the 5 star rating on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts or whatever you're using to stream the device. You see the MSU versus BU, you know what I'm saying? Cotton Bowl memorabilia, all the tickets. Oh my goodness, he's really starting to make me angry with all this stuff. I need to get to a game. Give us likes, comments, subscribe if you're listening and watching on YouTube. Follow us on all of our social medias. You see him with, continuing the memorabilia. He might keep on doing it when we go off air. If you guys liked it, enjoyed it, please make sure to follow us on all social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, the big three. And we'll see you guys for Storytime Special number 19. Peace.